You're high. Welcome back to the Combo Couch, everybody. Pasta Jardula here. Oz on the ones and twos with the overalls, the hat, orange shirt, everything. He's looking beautiful. Special thanks to him to always holding it down and running the Combo Couch. since our good buddy Johnny Tsunami's been on new ventures. If you haven't seen the picture up on Fiorella's Instagram or the Combo Couch Twitter, I believe, or Fiorella's Twitter, I retweeted it. Johnny retweeted it. We had a lovely time Monday at Kim Iverson's wedding. I am so honored and humbled and thankful that she included me in that beautiful special engagement. And we were in actually Tijuana the weekend leading up to Monday to the wedding. That's why we were down there doing some work with some actual organizers and activists from the heartland of Venezuela and Cuba, standing in solidarity against the blockades. Fiorella has some great tweets up too. You can check it out on the Combo Couch Twitter. She also covered the Democracy Summit, which was the counter protest summit of sorts to the democracy. She did the People Summit, the Democracy Summit, which was the one that Biden and Anthony Blinken invited a lot of their allies in the region to come to LA to kind of coordinate and talk about what to do in the region moving forward. It was kind of a political summit because they only invited certain people. And the fact that Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Honduras wasn't invited, AMLO had called them out. He is the president of Mexico, and they had their own little summit and things going on to oppose that. By the way, here's the picture of all of us we took. You can see it right here. There's me, Johnny, Kim, and Fiorella. A lovely picture, a lovely time. Once again, a big shout out to Kim Iverson for inviting us all there. It was a really humbling and fun experience to be able to go and do that with them. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. It's the start of a new venture of sorts. Fiorella might be on later on today to give a little bit kind of a salute. She will be going off to the heartland of Moscow and joining the RT team. That doesn't mean that we're going to stop doing what we're doing here. We'll probably have to move a few things around. Maybe have some special guests sometimes when she's on assignment, because Fiorella, she's going to take the opportunity to get the boots on the ground and go where she's got to go. She's the type of person that runs into a burning building, and we're almost on 5 years of doing this. And I've done this longer than I've done anything in my whole life. I went to college for maybe 1 year. I went to high school for all 4 years. I've had a job, I think one job for about 3 years, but I've had the Convo Couch for 5 years. And it's been truly amazing. And it's been truly awesome that you, the audience, without any sponsors, without any corporate money, without any, dollars from people to tell us what to do, we've been able to do us and do what we love to do and get our boots on the ground and bring you the breaking news, whether it comes to elections or foreign policy. And I can't thank you guys enough. So today I was going to have a guest come on with me, but I figured, hey, let's just push it aside. There's going to be some times, I think, when Fee is going to be on assignment where I'm going to have to come up and do this myself. So I figured, why not give a swing at it today? I'm only going to do one section. It's a long section. But I figured, why not just come on here, say hi, and thank you to you guys. And now is the time to send our love and our good luck to Fiorella as she begins this new journey. I can't tell you how excited I am for her, how proud I am of her for doing this. I mean, she's amazing. She can write. She can do commentary on the ground. She can give interviews. She can give analysis. She can do shows like this by herself and just riff for hours. She is that talented. She gets everything she deserves. And I think it's going to really help the channel grow and whatnot. If you don't know, I have a new morning show that I do here from this studio here. This studio is in Las Vegas. And that's where we'll be doing the show, Vegas to Moscow, of sorts. But every morning, Monday through Friday, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, me and my co-host, Steve Poikinen from Slow News Day, do an unbelievable fun morning show. We do it 3 hours every day. Just plug on in, put us on in the background when you're getting ready. If you want to cheat from work, call on in. We do call-ins, the whole 9 yards. It's a great morning show. I'm very proud of it. It just started and sky's the limit. So while I'm going to be doing the morning show and Combo Couch over here in Vegas, my partner Fiorella will be doing the Combo Couch via Moscow and all the work and the opportunities that RT provides for her. She's been on Press TV lately, Telesur, talking about these elections. And we're going to do elections. She's going to be there. I'm going to be over here. We're going to always be talking about elections. So that's one of the things the Combo Couch will be doing. Hi, Mandy Jones. It's good to see you. I heard your brother, and you had a good little awesome jam session. Steve Cutler's here as well. Lucky Burrito. guys, thank you so much. This is just exciting times. So let's get rolling with the show today. It's going to be one section. It's going to be a little bit of a deep section, but there's some things I wanted to talk about. Today it's a little commentary, right? It kind of centers around gaslighting and what's going on. There's no limit to how low the mainstream media and the Democrats will sink, right? They will try to sell you a bill of goods and try to make you believe something that is not necessarily true. They are A1 gaslighters, and that's where they're at right now. And it seems like a lot of things are breaking down. The unfortunate thing is we don't have the craziest, most firm, secure elections. And while we have this January 6th trial going on, they're still pushing back against any type of election irregularities whatsoever. When it comes to elections and when it comes to what's going on, we simply just have to push for a better system. You know, one of the great things about going to Colombia, going to Nicaragua, going to Honduras and Peru and studying these elections is, number one, we can always push back when the State Department or the NED or any of the groups, mainly the government, will try to say that the elections are a sham. You know, I believe Biden's words used when it came to Nicaragua was pantomime. When we get on the ground, we can actually, you know, push back against that narrative, because that's the first peg. That's the first thing they'll say. That is the U.S. empire when they're trying to remove a leader from another country who was democratically elected and put in their own dictator. They'll say their elections are a sham. We can push back against that, and then we can also bring back to you what works, what's efficient, showing you that in a third world country, when they don't have a lot of resources and whatnot, they can still have fair, fluid elections, right? Which leads us to this kind of whole story, what we're dealing with today. How come, with everything falling around us today, right? And obviously, I'm going to talk a little bit about inflation, a little bit about the economy and whatnot. I don't have to bring you a lot of literature today that says that the economy is falling on its face. I think we can all see it, what's happening. It's close to 38% of small businesses have closed. Strong jobs that were here, the very few that were here, are gone. Everybody's just trying to pick it up, from what's left on the ground and trying to find a way forward. But to say that this economy is strong is just a complete different lie. So let's get into it right off the bat. Here's what the Hill said the other day, and this is just yesterday. Despite the rapid economic rebound, I'm going to stop right there. Despite the rapid economic rebound, right? I mean, how can they say those words? How did it rebound? Did it rebound for the 1%? Because it didn't rebound for the 99%. It didn't rebound for the little guy out there. Right now, we have record inflation. And whether you believe in inflation or not, whether you're an MMT person or not, the cost of goods and services is way high. The salaries and the money that's coming in is way low. So there's moves being made, which really pretty much contradict exactly what's being said here. Going back to the article, it says President Biden's approval rating is at an all-time low as Americans feel the brunt of high inflation, a risk within few and beyond the administration took seriously when he signed the American Rescue Plan into law. So they're doing certain things. And it just says just over a year that Biden signed the bill, the GDP is well above where it was pre-pandemic. And jobs numbers are almost as strong as they were COVID-19. So I don't, once again, manipulating data is what they do, and it's what they do best. How can we say there's an economic rebound when inflation's at an all-time high, when it costs so much for goods and services? You go out there, you see how much gasoline is. It keeps going up and up and up and up. How much does milk cost you guys when you guys go to the store? You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Oz is bracing his hands up here. $5 a gallon, maybe. I mean, everything. I know eggs are ridiculous. They've been culling chickens, the whole 9 yards. But there is going to be some positive things that spawn after this. I think that as we get the stranglehold from the state, from our economic woes, we can start looking and learning and developing ways where we can take more care of ourselves. On the morning show, we've been doing shows that present solutions. Like gardening is coming up soon too as well. How to grow your own food. This is something that's huge. I remember when I interviewed Danielle St. John not too long ago, and one of her number one biggest plans was to take back our food resources. Now, it's going to be hard because the state doesn't want us to do anything, right? They make it illegal to collect your own rainwater, Oz, right? I mean, Oz, you cannot collect your own rainwater. It's illegal and stuff like that. So we have to take it back. So there's going to be some positive things coming out of this economic squeeze. However, the main thing we have to continue to do, and then we have to figure out why it keeps happening, is we have to call the politicians out that are lying to us. And even the ones that we put in there that were supposed to fight for the little guy, for the progressives, like the Ilhan Omars, we have to call them out, right? We have to say, no, this is bullshit. And then we have to slowly take back our power and doing that by providing our own resources. So here's Ilhan Omar. And this is so disgusting right now. I mean, listen what they're trying to say to you. For all the pain the past 2 years, which there's been a lot of pain, the federal government did a lot of incredible things during the pandemic. I mean, that's almost like spitting in your face. We wrote and passed bills that reduced poverty by record amounts. Okay. We kept people in their homes. We fed our kids, but we risk erasing all that progress if we don't act. Back to the lesser of two evils. Oz, this is the most important election of our times. If we don't act, the little scraps we gave you won't be worth anything. So we need you to get out there and vote for us again. In the beginning of the pandemic, I passed Meals Act to provide universal school meals to kids. It will expire at the end of June if we don't act. Let's all get this done. And that's what they're going to point to. And they're going to tell you got to vote for us because we have to mitigate damage. And what do we get for mitigating damage? We got a zombie in office who's just been awful, And people like Bernie Sanders, right? Here we are again. This is a big one. This is a spit in the face. It says Bernie Sanders says he won't primary Joe Biden and would support him if he runs again. Why? For what reason? I mean, this guy he's had the largest fall from grace. Here it is. And this is from CNN. So I brought your own article right here. Senator Bernie Sanders, the progressive firebrand and former Democratic presidential candidate, said Monday he would not challenge Joe Biden in a 2024 primary if he would back him if he runs. A comment that comes as Democrats are uncertain whether the 79-year-old president should run again. I think it's a little too early. I think it's a little bit way too late there, pal. The Vermont independent who caucuses with the Democrat told CNN when asked if he would back Biden in 2024, I think Biden would probably run again. And if he runs again, I will support him. Asked if he would run against Biden in the primary, Sanders said, not if he runs. Not if he runs. And little by little, we're starting to see Joe Biden really lose it. His mental capacities has already been shot. There seems to be some frustration that's kind of coming up in Grandpa. It almost seems like he's Uncle Tommy who didn't get his coffee and is in his wheelchair, is getting so frustrated because you don't understand what he's trying to say. There's a couple of videos out there I want to go into today, whatnot, and I want your opinions, guys, in the chat. Please tell us. We know that Trey Wright is hanging on out. Hello, you beautiful people. Hello to you too, Trey Wright. And hello to everybody on YouTube. Chili Love, DC, Super Patriot, Monarch, Big G Hayward. We love you guys. Shan the Master, Steve Cutler, all you guys hanging out. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Let me know what you think. But check out this video we found on the interwebs the other day. A little collaboration of Joe Biden and Donald Trump. There are a few things I disagree with Donald Trump in this video, but a lot of what he says is true. And you let me know what you guys think. Here, let's roll it.
Before I took office, there were a lot of folks out there making some pretty bold predictions about how things would turn out. You might remember some of the predictions.
They're coming for your guns, they're coming for your jobs, and they're coming for your freedom. They hate American energy, and Joe Biden will shut it all down. He's going to.
That if I became president,
Biden's elected, he will wipe out your energy industry.
Another prediction that is my favorite one, I must add, is that if I got elected,
gas prices going $5, $6, $7 for a gallon. Flood your communities with criminal aliens, drugs, and crime while they live behind beautiful gated compounds. They try to take away your gun, Second Amendment, they want to take it away, while they enjoy private security that's fully armed.
I never understood that one.
To spend trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting foreign wars, and defending foreign borders.
So for all those predictions of doom and gloom 6 months in, here's where we stand.
You want to use the word recession or depression?
Think of the single mom struggling to put food on the table each month.
You know, it's sad.
So if your primary concern right now is inflation,
we could stop it in 30 minutes.
When I took office,
he finally went outside. He went to get an ice cream.
Look, the bottom line is this.
I say you're not doing a very good job. Because he can't take any questions now from the press.
Is he lying? I mean, the whole, the insinuation too. And this is something that, listen, these back and forths by both these parties really put people into a wrong mental decision. In other words, they think sometimes you have to go A or B. One side's pushing over here, you got to go the other way. Not what I'm trying to say is I want to concentrate on what he says about the crime and whatnot. And, this insinuation that crime is really, really bad. But then you'll get somebody like a DA like Chesa Boudin who says, well, I'm not going to charge people for petty crimes and whatnot. I'm going to allow certain things to happen, right? And now you have a wave of crime where he got recalled because people were just going in and stealing stuff. Crime was really high. There wasn't a lot of middle ground here. It seemed to be feast or famine. Giuliani's son is running in New York, and one of his things on his platform is to be tough on crime. Even Tulsi Gabbard has jumped in on Fox and saying what Chesa Boudin was bad, that we have to be tough on crime. No, crime goes up when the poverty rate goes up, and that's plain and simple. If you don't have a working economy, if you don't have jobs where people can go to, if you don't have fair housing, if you leave people strapped because they have to pay for their Medicare and their Medicaid, okay, then crime is going to rise up. So instead of being tough on crime or saying I'm not going to charge people with petty crimes, why don't we meet in the middle? Why don't we have real solutions? That's the thing that's happening right now, which people are looking away from. And that's the one point that I want to point out that Donald Trump said, which was kind of like, there goes that kind of right-wing trope. And it is a right-wing trope when they say that because they're not fixing the actual solution. Almost like when it comes to, I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to build a great, big, huge wall because I'm going to stop illegal immigration from coming in there. Well, why don't we talk about why so many people are coming here and migrating here in the first place? They're not looking at the problem. But aside from that, in that video, and I know I took The Long Way Home over here, which is a song that Oz loves. I took The Long Way Home. There are a lot of things he said that are true. The very last thing he closed with, that Biden's not taking questions. Anytime Biden has to take questions, he takes the thing out of his pocket and he has a set of questions of who he's going to be calling on from the White House court press. Nothing out of the norm. In fact, when we remember when he did get questioned for something outside the norm, it was about Afghanistan and Pakistan. He started speaking. The Easter Bunny had to go over and cut him off. So he can't even take questions. And that's something, whether you like Donald Trump or not. He'd see reporters over there and he'd walk over to the lawn and start taking questions. Now, he didn't always give the greatest answers, but he would face the press. He would face the press. That was something that I loved about Tulsi Gabbard. Every single time she'd have an event or on her campaign trail, she'd have a press gaggle in the back and anybody can get questions. That's very important to me. Making sure candidates debate and making sure candidates ask questions from journalists, not just the journalists that are chosen for the big media ones and whatnot. But that's something he did. And Joe Biden just walked away. You see how he scurried on off. He talked about how gas prices were going to be so high, Donald Trump said about Joe Biden. That is true right now. It's ridiculous. We're close to $7 a gallon over here. And there's reports going around. We talked about this on the morning show where people now can't even they would lose money to go to work because the gas prices are so high. So it makes no sense for them to even take the job because the gas prices are so high. I saw a report, I think it was someplace in California in the northern area, or maybe it was in the South, I can't remember, but the police budget was going to try to handle, the police department was going to try to handle a lot of domestic calls by not going out there, by going over the phone. They were going to increase their phones because you know why? Their budget for their monthly gas has run out. Now, whether you want the police to show up or not, that's not the point. The point is that this inflation, when it comes to groceries, when it comes to gas, fuel, economy, it's out of hand now. I don't have to bring a lot of reports to you to show you that. I think all of you know that at home. And today, we're going to get into it a little bit later, the Fed has increased interest rates. And we'll explain briefly what that means. But I want to continue because the Democrats, the establishment Democrats, have kind of coined this phrase, the big lie. And the big lie is that if you push back against the elections and you don't take the results for what they are, you're perpetrating or repeating the big lie, right? The big lie is what's going on is what the Democrats are talking about right now, that the economy is good, that it's rebounding. And they have the comfort of the mainstream media that go along with them. That's what we showed you in that first clip today when it came, that first newspaper, from the Hill, saying despite an economic rebound. No. So here is probably, I don't know, I'm setting an over and under for August 1st that Karine Jean-Pierre will be fired. She is just awful. I can't watch enough of that clip when she talked about the other day when they asked about Bolsonaro, and she said that Juan Guaido is the president of Venezuela. That's how far off she is. I think they've decided, hey, this experiment was not good. But here she is still perpetrating the lie. And pay attention to the certain things that she's going to talk about, because the Democrats have the same talking points across the board when it comes to the mainstream media and the establishment government. Take a look. Take a listen and a look.
He has made this his top economic priority as we're talking about inflation, as we're talking about the economy. Like, we have to remember where this country was more than a year ago when he walked into office. The economy was not in a great place. Schools were closed, businesses were closed. We didn't have a comprehensive COVID strategy. And what he ended up doing was meet that moment, pass the American Rescue Plan. Only Democrats passed that plan. He signed it. It was his plan. And now we're seeing an economy that's bouncing back.
The thing that I love about this whole situation is that she talks about, you got to remember where we were. Okay. Yeah, things are bad, but despite where they're bad, it's because where we were. Schools were closed, businesses were closed. We had to get the rescue plan. Only Democrats signed it, by the way. So just be thankful of those scraps from the Democrats. And here's the thing that's so just ironic and so crazy. Yeah, all these things were going on. They were going on because of your party. The Democrats are the ones who wanted to put all restrictions on there. The Democrats who were the ones who wanted to lock people in their house. I mean, a lot of establishment Republicans stayed silent on this, and some even joined the thing. So they're just as guilty. It's the establishment. But as the press secretary, how are you coming up and saying all these things when it was your parties who inflicted the pain? It's like you said, I cleaned up my room, but yeah, you're the idiot who messed it up. It's your job to clean it up. You should be responsible for it. Now you want us to applaud you while you cleaned up your mess? And they have all the same talking points. It's only Democrats that signed the rescue plan. Remember that. Things would have been really worse if it wasn't for the rescue plan. And that's the shit that Ilhan Omar has kind of run with and all these other people. We've done big things. We've cut poverty down. Really? You've cut friggin' poverty down? Ladies and gentlemen, just think about it. And you answered the question yourself. Why do we have these people who constantly don't go along with what the American people want? It just shocks me when people go, okay, the approval rate of Congress is 20%. The Speaker of the House is Nancy Pelosi. She could be running against a rock and lose if the elections were the way they should be. She got 71% of the vote in her primary. You answer that question, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you something. The battle's not over, because as we go through this whole donkey stuff, when it comes to the J6 things, they're putting on the circus. They're putting on news commentators and whatnot. And here's what they're saying still. If you question what happened last November, you are a fool. You're a liar. You're a racist. You're a misogynist. You're all the things above, because you just want to support your man who's a piece of crap who lost. And everybody knows he lost. They don't want to address any of the issues whatsoever. But Grandpa Joe keeps going on. He keeps on fluffing up his own freaking shit. My approach has brought down COVID deaths by 90%. It's opened schools and businesses that were shuttered, and it's created the greatest jobs recovery in American history. 8.7 million new jobs in just 16 months, an all-time record. Bullshit. Yeah, the economy that was closed down, the jobs that were shut down, the people returned. People had to go out and get new jobs, and you want to sit there and pat yourself on the back? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the chickens is coming home to roost, because they're starting to lose it. And let me tell you who else is starting to lose it. Joe Biden himself. He's not being able to keep it together, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the frustration right here. This is what I talked about your uncle who wants a cup of coffee that hasn't had it yet, and he's screaming for it, and he's just all mad because you can't understand him. Watch how frustrated Joe gets.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
One more time. Let's go with it one more time. Watch the last sentence. I'm sorry, Oz, but watch. We're changing people's lives. Just repeat it.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
He's starting to lose it, man. He's starting to lose it. And the thing that's crazy is that, you know, I was going to do a little boop section today, but I said, nah, let's just keep it simple and light, whatnot. And we've talked about this before, that even though it might have seemed like it's ended in the forefront, all the mechanism for the fourth industrial revolution and protocols for the boop are all still in play. Things are still going on where in Canada now, you're not considered fully booped until you have your third shot, your booster. Britain is still hiring people for high-level positions when it comes to COVID protocols. There's the IHR that they got smacked in the face with and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? But nothing's going to stop, okay, until we make it stop. Same thing when it comes to Ukraine and Russia. And this is something that's going crazy right now. We got to go crazy. We just had a $40 billion package that was passed. When it was passed, every single Democrat in the House, only 56 Republicans in both chambers stood up against it, which is ridiculous when you have to count on Rand Paul, Matt Gaetz, and Marjorie Taylor Greene to help you out to stop funding a friggin' war, right? But now here goes Uncle Joe again, giving more money. President Biden promised another $1 billion in military aid to Ukraine, including more long-range weapons. It's not going to stop until we make it stop, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. So the last two videos I have really quickly, and no, I got 3 more videos, but these last 2 is whatnot. I wanted to talk a little bit basic understanding of what's going on with the inflation situation, because earlier today, the Fed did hike interest rates almost 3/4 of a point. Now, you might think that's something small, but it's not. Take a little video on explaining it, what is, and this is a local channel I found and whatnot, how inflation works and who that really sacks, who really gets hurt in this situation stuff. Take a look.
The Federal Reserve's decision to raise interest rates won't have an immediate impact on inflation. Think about this now. Prices are already high, and now we're going to have to start paying higher interest rates. An 11 Live viewer reached out asking how the burden of higher interest rates will help the average consumer. Here's the answer, all new this morning. Whether it's at the grocery store or the gas station, our wallets are suffering. In an effort to bring inflation under control, the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates. Our bank accounts are stressed, and now we'll pay more interest on a car or home loan. An 11 Live viewer wonders how raising interest rates will help.
Hi, this is Dorothea from Union City. Can you explain how this works?
First, think about what happens when interest rates are low. It's easier to pay off a credit card bill or borrow money to buy a house, so it encourages spending. Demand for products is high, so prices soar. The goal when the Fed raises interest rates is to lessen the desire to spend, lowering prices. Dr. Ray Hill of Emory University's Gosueta Business School says the biggest impact is on the housing market and investments.
That's either investment by firms because it raises their cost of capital, or investment in housing, which is where the mortgage rates come in.
By raising the interest rate 1/4 percentage point now, with the promise of 6 more hikes before the end of the year, the Fed is pumping the brakes on spending. Dr. Hill says jamming the brakes can lead to a recession.
That would be a scenario like Alan Greenspan in late 80s, really. So when he made the Fed funds rate go up to 10%. That would be slamming on the brakes.
Once the economy had time to recover from the 2008 recession, the Fed raised the interest rate 5 different times between 2017 and 2018, the last hike until now.
So I think we get a little understanding what happens, right? And it really affects the poor people the most, especially when it comes to mortgages for middle-aged people, middle-income people, and credit card debt that they're trying to pay off or whatnot. The next one is a tweet from Vukovic. Don't forget what the Fed rate hike implies. The first thing that gets hit are the mortgage rates and the credit card rates. This decreases disposable income, and people, particularly lower income, start spending less because they have to spend it more on higher interest rates on their mortgage, on their credit card. So they have less money to buy more goods and services and stuff. So pretty much it's just when they hike the interest rates up, what they're saying is that middle class, lower class, get ready to spend less. You have to spend more money on these other things. And it's supposed to stimulate the economy somewhat, because inflation is just simply the lessening value of our currency. When interest rates go up, that means that your currency is worth less, pretty much. And that's what's going on right now. And you can see it says the Fed rate, it raises the rates and then it hits the mortgages and the credit cards. So then the average person has to spend more money on that, less money for goods and services. There's a little chart I put down there, less money for goods and services. And then all of a sudden, you have another recession. And there are a lot of things we talked about this morning. Steve talked about, well, where does it really hit? It really hits hard in construction too, right? Because now you have less spending from the lower to middle class. They can't get their, maybe add on additional studio spot to their house, maybe redo their kitchen, whatnot. So when you have less construction, less maintenance going on, then you have less spending in hotels, less spending in restaurants, less spending everywhere. So that's what this interest rate is going to do. The inflation rate, they hiked it up to try to lessen the supply and demand issues over there. And it's going to hit poor and lower income people first. That's because the economy is doing so well and inflation is out of hand. And the Fed expects to, and this just came out too as well, expects to hike another 0.5% over here. Each remaining meeting this year. At the end of the year, it should be 3.4. So they're going to continue to do this. And that's going to make the lower to middle income people suffer more. That's what's going on because inflation's out of hand. And the only way you get that under control is you raise the rates. Banks lend less than, what I'm saying? It just really sucks. And it's going to allow more vulture capitalists to come on in. So now the middle class and the lower class can't buy houses, right? That's one thing that really happens when they raise inflation. So who's going to buy those houses? Blackstone, Vanguard. They're going to buy more and more property. It's almost like it's a great reset. Well, you'll own nothing, but you won't like it is inevitable. So that's what's going on in the whole situation. Now, the last thing I want to talk about too, before we get on out of here, a little short show today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Our good friend Chunk, we still need to, when we want to look at the receipts, we want to know where people stand, right? We want to understand who's paying them and what they're trying to do. TYT at one point was the only game in town before a lot of us independent media jumped into this, whatnot, a lot of progressives at the time. Who knows what we call ourselves now. But he was the only game in town. And he's still trying to grab onto any form of relevancy whatsoever. Here's a little clip of him going on the other day. You got to like this. He's been going with this new look in the background and stuff like that, but he doesn't look healthy, man. He doesn't look good at all. But the fact he's going after Brianna Joy Gray, who just had a Ro Khanna the other day and did a progressive show on there. You know what I'm saying? These guys are trying to kind of maintain any form of relevancy whatsoever, but they are really on the way out. So this is an example of a paid independent media company that works for the man, Katzenberg Katz, all the way connected to the DNC and to the Clinton. This is an example of them just on their last, when they're holding on to the bar over there, that last finger that's holding on, that's Cenk right here. Take a look.
Mainstream media is disgusting in how they shut out progressives. In terms of the right wing, no. Brianna Joy Gray, unfortunately, is one of the people that are in the fake left. And so this has become a whole niche part of the industry. So Jimmy Dore, Glenn Greenwald, Brianna Joy Gray, and a couple of others in there that are, to be fair to Dave Rubin, he started this whole thing. The fake left saying, "Oh, well, it's just I'm a classical liberal, I'm a progressive, but it turns out the right wing's right about everything." Okay, So that's the shtick that they do, and they go on Tucker's show, and they dance for him, and so it's disgusting. They're not the real left, and here's how you can tell: they never disagree with Tucker.
Which is a crock of shit. We agree. We agree with a lot of Republicans or conservatives or smaller Republicans, non-establishment Republicans, maybe some libertarians on populist ideas. That's just plain and simple. That's what's called thinking for yourself. What he's trying to do is talk about Team Blue and the real, what he calls the real left. And the real left is what what we've seen, that what they've become now, right? It's just team players. It's the liberals of today. That's who they are. That you have to be a real leftist, you have to still disagree with the Republicans. The Republicans are the problem. And why do they agree with all these Republicans all the time? Because they're the fake left. We're the real left. They're desperately holding on for what's going on. There's a lot of things I will disagree with Republicans on, and I'll talk about it all the time. You know, with my Republican friends, there's things I disagree with my mother about. We talk about when she's a conservative person, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of things we should be agreeing on. There, anti-mandate, free speech. These are things that the left has abandoned, you know what I'm saying? And they're still pushing it. There's a crazy video out there right now. I don't know if you guys saw it, with the My Body, My Choice. And there's people out there, you know, they're out at a Roe v. Wade kind of, protest about the decisions that they feel are coming down the pipe when this leaked document came out. And they're fighting for the right to choose my body, my choice. But then they get this microphone in their face. Well, how do you feel about the mandates? And it just blows my mind. It should blow your mind when you see that they are my body, my choice. But when it comes to, abortion, but not my body, my choice when it comes to the mandate or the boop boop. You know what I'm saying? So, Cenk Uygur and TYT is a paid entity. They're paid off. They're paid to say certain things. And that's why they're kind of spewing that same kind of rhetoric out there right now. So that's just a short kind of show today. I wanted to bring you guys, talk about what's going on as far as this new, like I titled it, the left mainstream media. They have no shame in their game, ladies and gentlemen. There is no limit to how low they're going to stoop, and they're going to continue to gaslight you. And that's why we will continue to call them out. That's what we do as independent media. That's what we do as independent journalists and whatnot. So thank you so much for joining me today. I want to read a couple super rays. I read Trey Wrights, and also we have DC. What's up, DC? DC, we met a lot of people down at the border. We met actually activists that were pushing back, people standing in solidarity, socialists, communists. There was a lot of anarchists we talked about there. It was kind of intriguing and stuff. And that's, once again, when you can form coalitions, you form coalitions. If you want to push back against imperialists, I don't give a shit what letter you have in front of your name. If you want to push back against foreign policy and imperialism, that's what we do. Fiorella's journey is still one small step for women, and a one giant leap for the motherland. I wish her safe travels and an enlightening experience across the Bering Strait. And Pasta, don't worry, I'll subscribe to your solo account on OnlyFans. P.S. I've been working on a funky theme song type beat for AM's Wake Up All Morning show. I can't wait to see that, DC. And guys, thank you so much for everybody who's joined in today. You guys are awesome. 40-something on people over there. We almost have 170 people on the YouTubes. That's good. I don't mind the smaller numbers than the superstar fee, but, I still appreciate all the love you guys give me and give us and what you guys have been able to allow us to do and get out there. Jonto, Emily, Transition Vlog, Go Pasta, thank you so much. Steve and Son, Reese Mack, a longtime person. Lanny Mack, thank you so much. Angela Chung is there hanging out. Doomsday. We love you guys. Jilly Love, Bill Bradley, Clifford Maxwell. Thank you guys so much. Super Patriot, Lawrence Johnson. Man, you guys are so awesome. Thank you guys, everybody who joined in today. Thank you to all our patrons. Thank you guys to all who help out on the Give, Send, Go. We still have that open because we're going to still have other events. We're going to run that Give, Send, and Go into our Brazilian trip that will be later in the year. Brazil is supposed to have an enormous heavyweight bout election. Lula da Silva versus Bolsonaro. It's going to be something special, guys. The Convo Couch is going to get our butts there and get there no matter what. So that will probably be the next trip we'll link up to. Guys, if you haven't gone to Odyssey, grab your Odyssey account right now. That's where you can watch the RT live streaming show where Fee will be on. As she gets there and she'll get settled, we'll get more about what she's doing. But go ahead over there and get that Odyssey, get that signed up right now. Thank you to all our Patreons, like I said, and thank you to all of you guys who have showed the love. We're going to be here rocking it, doing what we're going to be doing. I'll be checking out in the studio. Guys, if you haven't gone over to the AM Wake 'em Rockfin channel, do so. We have a lot of fun in the morning. We even have call-ins and whatnot. We'd love you to be a part of that. I can't thank you guys enough for putting us over here. I want to thank Oz for running the show today and doing what he's been doing. Oz, you got anything else to talk about? What do we got going on Warren Media and Beauty and the Boomer?
We're going to be kind of light, but we've got the big show with you on Friday, you, Fair and Balanced, and Shanda Masta. So I'm really looking forward to that one. You got a couple of high energy ladies there, and they're going to just box your ears off, Pasta. So that should be fun.
Those are two ladies you can close me in a room with any day of the year. They're amazing things to say. I love their work. I love working with Shanda. So it's going to be a fun show, and it's going to be great to do it with Farron. Rob McMurtry, he left a little love, a little Super 8 contribution. Thank you for the Super 8 contribution. To Fiorella, if you're listening to, it's always appreciated on the couch. And it's been a pleasure, guys, doing this, guys, with you. And I can't wait to continue to do more. Just because Fee is going to RT in Moscow for now doesn't mean it's going to stop the Convo Couch. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. And I can't thank you enough. So for Pasta Jardula, Oz with the overalls and the 1s and 2s, check out Roar Media. Get to AM Wake Up. I'll see you tomorrow morning. And I'm going to be on Franco's show tomorrow talking about the elections in Colombia with the show on Friday. And also on Monday, me and Steve will be on Union of the Unwanted. It's going to be a great show for everybody out there. I love you. Convo out.